Good morning. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations Saturday morning live stream. Hello, hello. Hi, Flame Lily and Kristen, Kathy, Cheese Factor, and Emmylou. You guys are first. Ruby Ray, hey. Hi, everyone. So glad to see you on Saturday. Sorry I didn't make it last Saturday. Every once in a while, there's going to be times when I can't. Moonlight View, hello. Okay, everybody's wandering in now. Alicia, hello. And welcome, Emmylou. Did I say you? Emmylou, did I say you? Oh, shoot. Wait, hold on. I got to get my coffee. I left it on the coffee on the Keurig. I got to get it. I really do. I'll be right back. And yes, my door is still not painted. I will get to that eventually. First and foremost, I need my coffee. I like that I can still talk with this microphone when I walk all the way away. It's going to be too hot now. All right, I'm coming back. I don't spill it on myself. Okay, I got it. Ah, I want to go on. Okay, all right, I'm all better now. I just need it to cool down a little bit. So how is everybody today? Anything new that I missed overnight? Hey, Lori Day. Loose Can, hey. The chair is talking. Yeah, see, invisible. It's this remote. I had no idea that I could actually talk. Free Percy. Free Percy's in the free Percy's locked up. As soon as I sat down, he tried to get on my lap. So it's like bye-bye. So he's in his crate. They do need painting because, well, first of all, you can still see the nail holes in the frame and stuff. So, and this is all plastic. I don't know. Maybe I should just pay somebody to do it. I keep thinking I'll do it and I don't. So anything I missed overnight? We had our members only happy hour live stream last night at 5:30-ish time. And Robbie joined me there. If you haven't seen or heard episode 5 of the Afterglow Unveiling the Idaho Cult series, my podcast, Robbie joined me as a co-host, and it turned out really well. And we were able to go through the whole Charles trying to get the police to help him, Charles Vallow trying to get the police to help him with Lori, and sort of dissect that. So we did do that, and it was really hi, Lori. And so this weekend we are going to record the second part of that, which will go into when Lori and the podcast kind of ties everything together because of all the new stuff we're finding out. So it ties everything together that we've been following all along in bits and pieces. But what I tried to do on the podcast is bring everything full circle. Like now we know what was going on behind the scenes with Chad and the text messages with people like Lori and Zulema and what all that was all going on. So thank you. Thank you so much, Lori Day. It was fun too. And it's fun not to just talk to myself, you know? So that was kind of cool. And I really appreciate Robbie's help with it. That's all right. What's better, Ruby? All right. Looking at the chat. Good morning, Angel Hugs, Embran. And okay. Oh, you got your coffee too, Ruby Ray? Thank you. Yeah. It's coffee. But you're isn't it like wait, it's nighttime there, right? It's like evening, right? But you keep getting on our time because because you're on the other side of the world. Well, kind of, right? I'm in California, so you gotta go all the way across the United States to get to you, then across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean. I hope I don't burn myself. This was hot. Okay. So let's see. I was going to talk about the health clinicians, what happened, and what I think about Lori Vallow calling the LDS Church and talking to the attorney there. That supposedly called 5:30 p.m. Thank you. Oh, ours is ours too. We get daylight savings tonight. Yeah. We change our clocks too. We go back. Oh. Back. at 2 a.m. So Lori Vallow and her healthcare clinician, which I assume is the person like her psychotherapist or whatever, something like that, one of the people that's working with her in the facility, advised her, apparently, according to Mark Means and his documents, to call the LDS Church. So apparently she did, and, talked to the attorney there, who in turn, according to them, talked to Rob Wood. So what I'm thinking, I sure hope that conversation with Lori was recorded, because people are like attacking this therapist or whatever they are, clinician. And I'm just wondering how manipulative Lori's being in all this. Like, if that was actually something she wanted to do, she twisted it to Mark and blamed the clinician. I don't know if she's that smooth, but I feel like Lori the more I get to know Lori doing the podcast and knowing her history and reading all those documents with her divorces and everything, we know that she goes to, even before the murder, she goes to such great lengths to make herself look like the victim. And I'm super curious. I hope that whole thing was recorded, whatever went down with her and the clinician. Lori is a shady, shady kitten. Yes, she is. She's about as shady can get, in my opinion. That's exactly what I mean. So I don't trust her. I wouldn't want to be in a room and alone with her without a freaking recording device on, because who knows what Lori's going to twist. Look at all the things she accused Joe Ryan of, that eventually, and then she does a podcast saying she wanted to murder him because he was, assaulting her children and all this stuff. And the court actually sided with him. And she's like, oh yeah, he lied so much they sided with him. They sided with him because he was the one telling the truth, yeah, Mickey, right? I think she's twisted this. And as a healthcare professional, we document. If you don't document, it's not been done. So documentation, like my day is spent probably 90%, 70%, 75% of my day, even when I was bedside nurse, is documentation. What do you see nurses doing? What do you see healthcare people doing when you walk past a nurse's station or wherever? They are on the computer, they're documenting. So, if you didn't chart it, it's not done kind of thing is what the motto is in nursing. And so I just really, really think that clinician hopefully documented really well, and hopefully whatever's recorded. I would imagine they record those interactions. Don't you think? She's a freaking murderer. She's there to get herself confident. I don't think they really would let Lori in a closed room. Okay, I don't know how to do that from the live stream. Does anybody know how to put on the closed caption on the live stream? I tried to do it when I went on. Let me look over here. Let me look. Hold on. I tried to do it when I was getting ready, and it said your thing is being uploaded or whatever. And I'm like, it's not even recorded yet. So let's see if I can make it happen for you. Okay, content. Let's see. I'm gonna go to this. Stacy, I'm gonna try. Subtitles. Okay, wait, that's not right. Hold on. I'm trying. Oh, this isn't even the right one. How did I'm in the wrong place. Wait, hold on. You guys, live streams, not recorded stuff. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because okay, let's try this. Okay, let me see if that works. Let me know. I did turn it on. In StreamYard, there's a setting. I went to YouTube and got went on the setting. Just let me know if it doesn't work. I'll try something else. There are, and I wanted to go over some of those text messages too today, but Lori is just Lori, and she's going to do whatever it takes to make herself look like the victim, because that's what she does, right? That's Lori. That's what she does. So there was one. Hi, Bobby. There was one that I wanted to go over real quick. And then Robbie, do you want to hop on here, or anybody else want to hop on and we'll talk about stuff today? It would be kind of fun to have more of a panel. If anybody's interested in hopping on, let me know. I will put the click in the chart, or the thing in the chart, the link in the chat. The click in the chart. I have no idea where my brain is. Okay. And so, okay, so I'm going to pull something up here while we're waiting for this. Let me get my, I got to switch my email because that's where I put it. Okay, this one. So there's this text messages about this woman by the name of Julie Clement. And let me get these in the right order. I don't know if I have them in the right order, but Julie Clement is interesting bird in this whole thing. Okay, let me share my screen here. Oh, that's not it. Okay, I swear I'm coming. All right, so apparently Chad and Zalema had this conversation with this Julie Clement, who eventually got talked to by law enforcement. And of course, I'm kind of suspicious about her. Oh, I want to see that. I was so busy at work this week. I didn't get a chance to see all this new good stuff for sure. So thank you, Lisa. For sure, I want to see that. The Edgar thing. Remember that Edgar thing? Yeah. So let me go back to this first. I don't know if this is the right one. Yeah. So this one is Zalema and Chad. And again, we'll put his link, but his YouTube channel has had a lot. Like, he's gone through so much of this stuff. Oh my gosh, give me the name, you guys. True Crime with Big E. Big E. Oh gosh, I'm brain fart today. But yes, so I'll definitely put his link again up. So Zalema says on, what day is this? Anyway, Zalema says at some point at 10 p.m., I'm beyond excited about your visit to Arizona. I am looking forward to you teaching us. I have a friend I feel needs to be there Monday night, Julie Clement. She's receiving visions, revelations, and messages. I really want you to meet her. Is it okay if I invite her? And then Chad says, yes, that would be great to have her come. I'm excited to see you too. And Zalema says, I'm excited for your visit. And then the next one that they have here. Okay, I gotta close this because this is my regular email. Oh my gosh, what happened to my email? Oh, that's not it. Okay, That's the same one I just showed you. All right, so this freaking Julie Clement, I had more information on her. So on July 11th, I'll share it. Let's just share this whole thing so I can get through this. On July 11th, which is the day that Charles was shot and killed, Zulema to Lori, late at night, as I was working on Hiplos today in the temple, I was told he will be taken as he is. I don't know what that means. And then I was shown to only put light, the brightest light, from the top and bottom at the same time, meeting in the middle. So I've been doing that all day. And then Zulema to Julie Clement, she says, Hiplos is gone. It was a Nephi and Laban ending. I will tell you more when I see you in person, when I see you, Lori, in person. I'm leaving for Chile on Monday for 2 weeks. Zulema to Julie, right. I'm just happy it's over. Julie Clement, in her interview with police, acts like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't really know who Hiplos was. Well, apparently she's the one that told them that Hiplos was a dragon. And she just thought that was, I'm very suspicious of her. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so we got that. And then this one. And then, so back on June 1st at 2:30, Zulema to Chad Daybell, I just did some work on Hiplos. I'm holding this intention and asking for the Lord to complete it. And then Chad to Zulema, Lori texted me about what Julie Clement saw about Hiplos looking like a dragon. Frightening, but fascinating. And then on the 2nd, Charles sent Lori numerous messages, some of which were amicable between the two of them. In one message, Charles professed his dedication to Lori and the relationship. Charles was driving on June 2nd, 2019, and taking JJ to the beach in Galveston, Texas. This trip was supported by photos of JJ at the beach, as well as GPS data attached to these photographs. On June 2nd, Lori to Zulema, yes, it does. Let's put some fiery energy towards Hiplos now. He is driving now, and today is the day. You and I can do it spiritually. Let's go to him and hover over his truck till we do it. Are you ready? So this attempt at causing harm to Charles would have been when JJ was in the vehicle as well. And Zulema to Lori, I'm ready. And then a minute later, she said, let's go now. And then Zulema to Lori, that is powerful. I'm still sending fire. So literally they are trying to kill Charles and JJ spiritually or by fire or whatever hocus pocus crap they think they can do. So I'm just like, unfreaking believable. They are just so shady. Why isn't Zulema in jail? I'm sorry, but her of everyone. I mean, I know a lot of people think Melanie Gibb needs to be in jail, but these text messages that keep coming out, Zulema was freaking up to her eyeballs in this crap. So that was all that. So we saw that. Let me see. Saw that. And then her telling Julie Clement that Hiplos is gone. Well, Julie Clement, there was an interview with Julie Clement. We can probably find it on Big E. But I would like to know too, Loose Can, how in the heck is she not in jail for Charles? You know? I mean, she has, I don't know. Oh, by the way, you guys, I got a new email. I'm not going to pay for the one I had, the Kathryn at leftundone.com anymore. I don't make enough money to pay for all these things doing my YouTube channel. So I'm cutting back on a lot of stuff. And so my new email is leftundone@gmail.com. So just if you want to email me, this is it. And it's brand new because the Microsoft, one was a lot of money a year, like to do all that and have that website and stuff that I don't even use and go to, I don't have time for, was like a couple $100 a year. So I cut that expense. Okay, so then this is joyuntapped.com. Vitality, positivity. Just a second, Robbie, I'll grab it in a minute. Through the body code system, appointment and payment. This is Julie Clement. I am a certified body code practitioner. This form of energy work is used to identify imbalances that cause emotional, physical, and energetic blocks. I find and release these blocks in a non-invasive, pain-free way that can be done in office or from a distance anywhere in the world. Yeah, right. Snake oil. Releasing these distortions is what I do naturally and joyfully. I can't wait for you to experience the energy, health, and emotional freedom that you long for. Julie Clement. Her blog post coming soon. Testimonials. In 2019, Julie, you have changed my life after I saw you. I was with my boyfriend and even could tell a difference in my energy. I'm eternally grateful for you. And then somebody else, there are no words to possibly describe what blessings can come from someone who's fortunate enough to work with Julie Clement one-on-one. Her gifts and talents are precisely that. Gifts and talents from a divine creator who has endowed her with the capacity to recognize, define, and eloquently share with others how past emotional blockages and negative experiences are hindering their personal growth. So there's an interview with Julie, Julie with the police, and I read it. I'll have to find it, but she basically says, "Oh no, I didn't know who Hypnos was. I didn't know. I just thought it was a dragon. So we were gonna pray to get rid of the dragon." I mean, what on earth are these people freaking thinking? So, but I was asking my son-in-law. Let me unshare this. My son-in-law is a pastor. And I was like, okay, this emotional, these energy healings and all that as a Christian, evangelical Christian, what is this? What do you say? He said, it's snake oil. It's placebo. It's not real. It's not anything real. It's just people, like the circus fortune tellers kind of thing. And, the placebo effect is actually, if you study the placebo effect actually can work really well. Your mind is so focused on something that it can work. So there's this one thing that I remember in nursing school, we were learning about the placebo effect. And one thing really stuck in my mind that one of the professors had said that warts have a huge placebo effect to get rid of warts. People have all these stories on how you get rid of warts. Like she was asking people, how do you get rid of warts? Like, what have you heard over time in your life about how to get rid of warts? And somebody was like, oh yeah, my grandfather said you rub a potato on it, then you bury the potato in the backyard and the wart goes away. And I guess warts have a huge response to the placebo effect for some reason. So, not that this is just nothing, because who knows what they're really dealing with, as far as all that goes. But I stay away from those people. This isn't real. They all think there's some special somebody that fell from freaking heaven or whatever. And they're just taking people's money is all they're doing. And they're convincing people that they did this to them when they didn't fix anything. Julie Rowe, like, come on. People give her so much money. And look at this Julie number 2 here. Yeah. Just like Carnival Fortune tellers, like, kind of like, yeah. I mean, and, some psychics are really kind of freak me out. Like they really can tap into something. We were talking about that remote viewing. Remember that remote viewing that some people apparently in the military can use and stuff? Julie made that earthquake in Utah. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Remember that margarine butter commercial back in the days? So let me okay, Robbie, you want to pop on here? We could talk about some of this. And I wanted to go run by you guys about some stuff to do with Afterglow as well, and what your opinions are. So let me invite. I'm going to put the link in here. If anybody else isn't shy and wants to come in and discuss, as long as you're nice. So I don't know. All I can say is about these people is they are taking people's money. You can't convince someone out of a cult. They have to be deprogrammed. It's really, the mind is very powerful. I mean, incredibly powerful. And I'm sure positive thinking and all that has a lot to do with our mental health, our physical health, walking around with a bunch of negative energy. Like when somebody's negative, it makes me like, oh, I can feel negative energy. Like I just know, like, oh, I don't need that kind of negative energy in my life. Like, get out of here right now. So, okay, here comes Robbie. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Yes. How is it going? Happy Saturday. Happy weekend.
Happy Saturday. But yeah, no, some people don't come to their senses. They have to be deprogrammed, I think, as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lisa E.
Right.
Personally, I feel if psychics were real, then every crime would be solved or prevented, and they're not. Right, exactly. You leaving us already?
1 second.
There's Lori. Hey ho, Robbie. Hey ho, Robbie. It's just Robbie. I like your hair. Lori likes your hair, Robbie. All right. So while we wait for Robbie to come back, misery breeds. Yes, right. Misery breeds misery. Exactly. You've been shy your whole life? I'm shy around like a group of new people that all know each other. It's just a little weird. Like stuff like this, I don't feel like I'm really standing up in front of all you, even though I guess I am. There's 74 people here. I personally think Lori was hoping to get financial help from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. When she called them, when we were talking about the clinician telling her to call.
Thank you,
think
Lori.
she was trying to get some money
to get help? I don't know. I think she literally thought they were going to help her.
And now Pryor's all up in an uproar. Everybody wants no LDS members involved in this case. Like Rob Wood's LDS, they want to get rid of him.
Oh, good luck.
I thought it would go the opposite way, that they would want LDS people that sort of could buy into Chad's crazy beliefs.
So it's supposed to be a jury of your peers, right? So it can be LDS. It could be a mixture of evangelicals. Moving the case to Ada County or what have you, I think it's going to be beneficial. It's going to give them, a bigger. Thank you, Ruby, for welcoming me back. It's going to give them a bigger pool to draw from, right? Got my Carmex here because Tammy loves Carmex. So do I. Anyway, right. reportedly and allegedly. So anyways, yeah, like I think that they're going to get the jury that they want. I think they're going to be able to have a fair trial. I think that Mark, because like I was saying yesterday, like he's poking the bear. They're going to get him. They're going to be like, dude, you're off this case. See you later. And good luck with the Idaho State Bar because we sent them a report about you. I really feel like that's what's going to happen because he's just really out of line.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's been stirring stuff up for a long time. I still would like to get to the bottom of the whole thing of what happened with him and that YouTuber that has gone dark now.
Yes. They talked about it last night a little bit on or Lori Ellis mentioned. Yeah, Lori and Laura mentioned it for a second. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, yeah. So we'll see. She's been quiet. We'll see. I haven't seen. I really like Paul, her friend Paul. You know who Paul is? The what's his channel called?
Yeah.
Drawing a blank.
Sofa.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda Cruz, for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the super chat. Anyways, so
yeah, what's his name? Reporting live from my sofa.
Yeah, reporting live from my sofa. I haven't seen him like update. I think maybe he had one video about Lori. I think he should post about it because
they were friends. Yeah.
I mean, but he shouldn't feel like just because she's not commenting on it, like he shouldn't cover it anymore. Like he should continue to cover it, even if she's not. Like
I really like him. I
do
like his
too.
sense of humor. I think he's hilarious, and he can, just the expressions on his face and stuff. You're like, So yeah, I think he's really. I used to be a member over there, but then there's this YouTube stuff that goes on.
It gets so expensive though. It gets so expensive when you have all these memberships and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I had to look at recently I had to go into my Amex and be like, okay, what are you doing here? And I was subscribed to a bunch of stuff
and that's why I just charge the $1.99 so we can do our private.
Right. No, and I appreciate that too because it's easier because then I'm not being billed some exorbitant amount for something that I'm not aware of or something.
Right, and then it makes it easier because everybody just gets the same perks too. So
yeah.
He is funny. He does a good job. Yeah, he does. He really does. I caught a little bit of Lori Hellis and Lauren last night. Lori Hellis, I guess, got her book, got a publisher or something, or got the deal. So congratulations to her. That's awesome. And as you know, I'm not doing the book with Ron anymore. That's Ron's thing. I'm pieced out on that. So no book from me. Got enough going on in my life.
I can appreciate you going, I've already bitten off more than I can chew. Let's take a step back and recommit to X, Y, and Z. So smart, especially as we head into the end of the year, because with the brand new year coming up, you're just gonna have a whole new list of new stuff.
And that, I started to do something I was gonna do something on Etsy, and my daughter's like, Mom, just stick to what you got going on now.
Right.
And it's true, because if you spread yourself too thin, you can't make anything good,
Right.
And first and foremost, I have to work 40 hours a week.
Your full-time job. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then second, I got my mom and my family, and then,
Yeah, no, this is literally content creation as a hobby is definitely for anybody watching that's interested in content creation. Content creation as a hobby is the way to go. And then if you somehow make it big, like Linda at It's a Crime, and can make a full-time living off of it, being a content creator, then, knock it out of the park. Great. That was supposed to be a bat.
Yeah, I could never give up my career to do it because it's just too iffy. People come and go.
And it's there's not
social media is so fickle. You know what I mean? Half the people here weren't here when I started. Where are all those people that were here when I stared? They're not here anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People rotate in and out. They have different things going on in their life. So I wouldn't be able to do this full time, even if it was bringing me in money.
It's definitely one of those things where you look at it I don't know. I look at it it would be it's a cool hobby. I have a nice camera. I've got a good computer. I've got a mic and everything. I know kind of how I think it's cool from a hobbyist perspective.
Right. Me too. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah. And I think you've done great.
It took my interest in true crime one step further.
Especially during COVID. I think you definitely you're one of the first true crime channels that I started following during COVID. And what I felt like I connected with your channel is that you're a genuine smaller creator and you really did a good job with your community and interacting with your community. And so
and that's what I love.
Yeah, me too.
I don't, when I go in a live stream and the chat's going, I don't even stay because I can't have any say.
Yeah.
It's not going to get seen.
It's not a conversation. It's just a wall of text. Yep. I know.
Thank you, Lucian. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lori. So on another note, I was started to talk about, the Afterglow podcast, and I was thinking, you know, Robbie and I are recording it. Let me know what you think. I've not even asked you about this. We recorded episode 5 together. Thank you, Loose Can. And so it's a different software that I use for the podcast platform, but it can also live stream, and we can also record like this and then upload it. I was wondering what everybody thought about, since I'm editing and putting the music and the ads and all that stuff in the podcast, would it be interesting for us to just upload the raw video to YouTube, like unedited, us raw? How are we talking about?
So we could just stream it. So that's what you would do, is you would just stream it, and then the video gets views for people who didn't catch the live stream, because the video stays up as a video on demand. You just like create a playlist of Afterglow podcast playlist, and then every time you do a live stream, it saves that as a podcast file, like video, as a YouTube video file. But then I'm pretty sure you can take that video and put it through as a podcast to all the different platforms.
And that's what I would do. So I could download both. I could download, so that would just, so you can live stream from that Riverside platform right onto YouTube. I can live stream. Or we can record it and I can upload it to YouTube. But what I'm finding out with me just doing the audio on YouTube, I took the audio, people can watch that, listen to it on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever, iHeartRadio. You can listen to that there. But I'm thinking for my YouTube audience, if we could record it or live stream.
However you want to do it. However you want to do it. I would say live stream it and leave the video up, because then you can kind of have the audience expecting Kathy's going to do the live stream for Afterglow, or and they have something to look forward to. I like that. And a lot of bigger content creators will do that. Like they'll live stream, especially on YouTube. Like there's been this thing about YouTubers not really being great at streaming live ever since the pandemic, because YouTubers, by virtue of what they do, is create pre-recorded content, they upload it, and that's it. When you're live, there's a lot more nuance that can go into it. Somebody walk into the room, like there's so many different things that could happen. So it's a little bit different as a nuance. I think to what I've seen, kind of what you're hinting at from a show perspective, is like Mormon Stories podcast does a really great job where they do it live, they produce it all live, they even have the chat participating live, and then they put that through as a podcast onto all the other platforms. They leave it as a video on demand on their YouTube channel, which they get views and revenue off of. So it serves that purpose as well, as basically for me, that's their YouTube video of the day that I watch, is typically their podcast on YouTube. But that's just because I like to watch it.
So do they go back in and edit? You know how I have the music and stuff on the podcast?
Sure he's got some post-production for when it goes to all the he probably takes the copy from that he has on for YouTube. He takes a copy of that, and then he edits that for the audio. He takes the audio out of that, and then he edits the audio with the intro and the outro. And then the other thing too, Kathy, is the more you are live streaming and the more you get used to it, it's kind of like doing like a radio show or something. Like you have your audio drops queued up so that you can play, your intro, or, make sure that you have a sticky note. This is what Emily D. Baker does, is that she'll have a sticky note. And as she's going through the different stories, she'll write down the time. That way, when she goes to edit the video, or on YouTube, when she goes to edit the information on the video, she can put time markers for each different headline. So if I only want to watch the Britney Spears update, I can click to the Britney Spears update. I don't have to watch all the other stuff. So
interesting.
Yeah. So
because we could have, when we did episode 5, when we were playing Charles, we could have had people live watching that with us too, and interacting when we were talking about it. So yeah. All right, we'll look at that. Lori says it's a good idea. Lori Day says, I actually love that idea at Left Undone, and it's just Robbie. I do that with other channels who do both. Sometimes I hit things both ways. Interesting. Ruby Ray says, yep. Sunshine says, yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that's kind of the. I've just noticed that that's been the meta, and like what I was kind of mentioning with YouTubers is that I've noticed more and more like more of the video game channels that I watch for video game news. Instead of just doing video game news, they're like streaming and trying to stream. So it's been a lot of fun to watch people jump and bridge that gap. Not always expecting for like literally like when you start a stream, you're like, hold on, I gotta click this, I gotta do that. You're like, hold on, everybody. Like, unless you have things kind of set up from a production standpoint, you know what you're gonna do ahead of time. There is gonna be a little bit of, I don't know, that on the scene, how the bacon is made kind of magic. I don't know. I love it as a hobbyist. So yeah, I think that's the way to go.
I mean, and I don't know. We can even have a producer on that software that isn't on the video with us, but can pull things up and stuff
on the
too.
back
So
end.
that would work eventually too if anybody wanted to do that in the background.
For sure.
You're my first channel. I was tending grandkids in Idaho when Nate and
your mic is getting covered by your hair. It's muffled. There your butt. You should be better now.
Was it getting? You could hear.
Yeah,
it,
muffled. Like, now you're better. Now I can hear you fine.
You were my first channel. I was tending grandkids in Idaho when Nate, Eaton chased Chad and Lori in Hawaii. My daughter and husband were at the Marriott resort that Chad and Lori were found. Oh, really? Right at that time, Dee Dee? That's funny. While Nate was chasing them, they were in there in that Marriott resort.
That is a trip. That is so crazy to be so close to like the action. And back then, nobody really knew what was going on.
Right.
I'm sure they've been following since.
That's why I like doing the podcast now, because we're pulling everything back together. Like, oh, there's so many things we were confused about. Like, what the heck was Zulema and where'd she come from? Why was she involved with these people? Blah, blah, blah. And now we're saying, oh, she was right there when Lori and Chad were planning Charles' murder, no wonder she married Alex. Like, oh, and no wonder she had a trip already planned to Chile 2 weeks later. And what I mean?
Yeah, those messages that you were just reading are so revealing because she knows a lot. And that's why she's got the use immunity, is because she's like, I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life. I'll tell you everything I know, and I know everything. And so she's got use immunity, and the FBI probably is using her as like the #1 star witness.
For sure.
Should be interesting to see Mark and John try to mansplain away some of the details of the evidence in the courtroom. There's a lot of evidence that we don't know about yet that has already been, recorded, documented, and it goes beyond just circumstantial evidence that, whether it be, cellular data from their phones. And oh man, I just I can't wait till we do the trial, because I'm like,
I know. Imagine what we don't know.
Exactly. And when they went right to where the kids' bodies were, it's like, so adds a little bit to the fact that they do actually kind of, in some cases, like really, like the FBI is pretty slick. They use cellular information to ping, location data that said, oh, why was Alex Cox at this residence for X, Y, and Z? Really interesting stuff. And I'm also curious from a legal perspective, maybe it was easier to get his records from the cellular company because he was deceased. I don't know if there's any like HIPAA laws or anything that. So yeah.
Maybe. Oh, Fun to Cruise was in Kauai too when they were found. That's how you found us. That's crazy. You were there. I love Dr. Grande's other channel with his friends. They go off on all sorts of tangents. I haven't gotten to the end of a case yet. Oh, interesting. I have only seen Dr. Grande's
on his main channel. Yeah, I didn't know he had another channel.
Me either. That's interesting.
He should talk about that, because that sounds like something more of his content that I would enjoy watching. Yeah.
Let's see. What else, you guys? Wait. I wrote down. We talked about Julie Gabby Petito. How many people, like, I'm just super curious on the Gabby Petito case. Are there really people that think he's not actually dead, Brian?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. People think that he's not dead, and I'm just like, they've got like his skull and his teeth, and his dad took him right to where he was. I mean,
yeah, I think it was more likely his parents knew where he was hiding out. Maybe they didn't know he was dead, and they did, or they suspected.
yeah.
And they made a deal to go to that area to help find him, and that's what.
I saw that on before you went live. I saw that another YouTuber that was covering the Gabby thing on a day-to-day basis, Popcorn Planet. He posted a new video. Oh, by the way, that's what he does too. Is he records his content live. He saves it, and then it's a YouTube video. Anyway, so he had a new YouTube video, and that's what he was saying. Did Gabby Petito, or did Brian Laundrie's mom and dad make a deal with the authorities to turn over evidence and locate his remains in order to avoid prosecution? Which maybe they did.
Yeah, I know, right? Vibrations from I think he's dead, but I want him to be on the run so he can spend his life in jail. I think that's the thing. Like, Lori Day, you were so mad that he was dead, so mad, because we wanted to see justice.
Yeah.
Not just take the easy way out and you're dead too now. Womp, womp, womp,
I'm so surprised that he killed himself, because somebody who's so self-loving and loves themselves that much, you'd think maybe I didn't see that coming.
No, I thought he'd be on the run. I thought he'd be in Bahamas or Bermuda or somewhere
Mexico.
very far. Flame Lily, thank you for the donation. I am very suspicious about how quickly they identified the remains. It seemed far too quick. Yeah.
Well, if they have dental records from the local.
Yeah. I mean, dental records are dental records. Like, I just went to the dentist the other day. They like, and this, and then all those x-rays and everything. I think it would be pretty fast to line
And by now they have DNA. Look, by now, like, it's been enough time for them to extract DNA from whatever remains that they have, and I'm sure it's probably.
Here's the thing. They're not looking for anybody right now, are they? There's no like, oh, let's look for Gabby's murderer. Everything just screeching halt as far as I can tell.
And we'll never really get to find out the evidence that they have, because it'll never go to trial, because he's dead.
Because he's dead. But, they never identified him. But, even Lori and Chad, they never called them a suspect in. They just brought Lori in on some other crap about not bringing her kids out forward. They never said, oh, she's a suspect in the murder, even though they suspected that those kids were murdered and that Lori was involved. They never announced that to us. And I think that's where the Brian Laundrie case was going. They were just not going to make it like, hey, Brian, we want you for murder, or make him run further,
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thought on that. Lori Day wanted to kill him herself. She did. She was so mad. Lori Day, our Lori Day.
Yeah.
She was so mad. She's like, I'm just so mad that he's dead. Oh, yep. So yeah, it's kind of like the chicken way out, But I mean, he's 23. He's obviously been kind of a mama dada boy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him really being on his own and coping with life. Maybe he can hike and, wrestle cheetahs, but other than that.
Have you seen the story about someone claiming to be his ex that he dated before he dated Gabby?
Yes, yeah. I read today that actually that person is being debunked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, is that it's false. But I mean, man, it's so interesting. People trying to grab their 15 minutes of fame. And from what I understand, like, they were like high school sweethearts. Like, I don't
The
know.
Ryan girl, the girl that's most
No,
likely.
no, Gabby and Brian
Oh,
were.
Gabby. Oh, they
Yeah.
knew each other in high
They
school.
were with each other for like, they were high school sweethearts, you know, they stayed
They knew each other
together.
in high school, and then they got back
Yeah.
together, I guess.
Right.
Is what,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So
So I'm highly suspicious. That's probably just some person trying to get attention.
there was something that I had put up here from East Idaho News. Let me see if I can find it. Oops, I'm back.
No, suicide is not necessarily an easy way, but it's a lot better than it's him remaining in control of the situation. And
And it's always taxpayer money, right?
yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is that it ultimately would have cost taxpayers to have him sitting around, you know, taking up space on death row. But you know, it's like we don't. It's the principality of him taking back control of the situation that he did. He did like they have eyes on Brian Laundrie. When? Where? Who's they? Who's this they that has eyes on Brian Laundrie? Like, you know, and for him to slip away and for the whole fiasco with the Mustang, like, oh, we're just gonna go pick up the Mustang. It's got a ticket on it. Like, oh, it's got a ticket on it. Oh, that's Brian Laundrie's Mustang. Like, so
Right.
slow rolling here. A lot of I really feel like some places just have really bad like police forces and some places have really great police forces. And there's such a discrepancy between the performances of the two. Kind of like in Idaho, they're like, hey, we're going to have the coroner who's elected Jim Bob Duggar's friend down yonder, have him come on over and be our coroner. All he has to do is say, yep, she's dead, and sign a signature, and that's it. Or you could live in a civilized society, which is pretty much everywhere else. And if that happens, you get like a forensic scientist who comes to the actual term is escaping me right now, but there's an actual type of person who comes and evaluates you when you're dead. I remember when I messaged you, I was like, hey, if I ever turn up dead, make sure you get me like a forensic whatchamacallit or whatever. Somebody in the chat, give me the terminology I'm looking for. It's like the person who does the autopsy, but it's like a medical term.
Anthropologist.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's what, you know, because that's what you need. Like that's who figured out that was Brian Laundrie's remains. They had a forensic anthropologist go, oh, hey, hey guy, I went to college for DNA and stuff, and I was able to match this DNA sample with this DNA sample. Oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah. Thank you, Ruby. Appreciate it. So this was an article on defense lawyer in Idaho murder case accuses Mormon church counsel of communicating with client. This was on the 2nd. And then it just goes into the whole backstory. Lori Daybell was committed to an Idaho State mental health facility. We know that. The clinician allegedly provided Lori Daybell with the church headquarters phone number and said it was part of her treatment homework to make the call. I was trying to get to what Pryor was all up in arms about. There was something on there about him. He's also all.
My dad used to work at the mental health facility in Provo, and I could ask him because he used to like, he was like security basically.
I just think that Lori's manipulating people, and I think she twisted it, and I think she told Mark Means, made it look like the health professional twisted her arm to go do it when it was literally the other way around.
Oh, careful with your mic.
She's, huh?
Oh, careful with your mic. Yeah, you're better.
I don't know why it keeps
Maybe
doing
move
that.
it. Maybe move it down a little bit so that if your hair comes over your shoulder, it doesn't mess with it.
Now it's going to really be annoying.
Oh goodness gracious!
There, that's better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark Means is the village idiot. Agreed, Dee Dee. Agreed. Hi everybody. Hi Sensible. Welcome. Our lovely Kathy is having me on this morning.
Oh, the Notebook. I want to read that darn Notebook for sure with Gabby Petito, the Brian Laundrie notebook that they found. What is the name of it's just Robbie. Robbie has been probably one of my very first subscribers to my channel. He's been around since the get-go here.
Yeah, this is me. Put a face to the name. If I have not met you, this is me. Kathy has been my first true crime community as well, like many of us here. And as a hobbyist content creator, I'm definitely one of the first things I was so happy to tell her about when I first met her is I'm like, I'm just happy that you're doing your content with your laptop and what you have. And I think that was like really inspiring because a lot of people are like, unless I have like all this production equipment and like a facility.
I just opened my laptop and start whatever microphone it had, and
and it was good. But the thing is that's the point. That's amazing.
Got to start somewhere. Yeah,
it was amazing content. It definitely, in the early days of this case, it helped me quite a bit as far as understanding what took place. So yeah.
Yep, it's just Robbie. Stephanie, what do you mean? Oh, you dozed off right now in the middle of our live stream? Are we
that boring? Oh my gosh.
Or are you talking about last night? We had our members live stream, a happy hour last night.
I did go to the cemetery twice, actually. The first time I went when Kathy was streaming, and then we had to go back September last year for my partner's one of his grandparents had passed away, and so we went back home, and I wanted to get more drone shots of the cemetery and stuff, and so I took my dogs because they were with me. We drove, and I was babysitting, and Tyler was with his family, and so I took my dogs and we visited Tammy Daybell. It was really pleasant afternoon and got some really cool shots of the area and the cemetery, which we've all seen it. It just was kind of a bummer because it was really smoky. It's during the time with all the California fires where all the smoke was blowing over into Utah, and so it was kind of not the greatest for taking photos and stuff, but it was still nice.
I know when I was doing the fauna fry on location, it was so smoky. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the hills, right next to us in Grants Pass that I was driving around back then. Fauna's never been found either, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They found her car and never found her. All these cases that we started following that we've never. Speaking of cases, other cases, Maya Malete, did you see that her husband, he's in jail? Did you see he called like the kids through his parents, like over 200 and something times, told him to watch this R-rated movie about a man?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
that
see
guy
that.
Nuts. Like really, Larry. And his parents had the kids. So I don't know because there was a court hearing this week, and I didn't hear the outcome that her sister is trying to get the kids because obviously his parents are not cooperating with the restraining order. They're giving the kids the phone when daddy calls from jail, and he's getting in his kids' heads and stuff. It's
pretty bad. Reminds me a little bit of a Barry Morphew vibes where, daddy's girls are, he's our daddy. He couldn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Isn't that so weird? Like, I get it. Like, you don't want to admit that you're, I actually, no,
Well,
I take it back. I don't get it. I don't know. Exactly. I was going to try to empathize with them and say, I get it. Like, you don't want to admit that your parents. I'm like, you know what? That's not true. Because I'm like, kind of like, I'm going to be honest. I've been kind of hard on my parents. My parents don't get a, free pass. Like, yeah, if my parents killed somebody, it would be a major issue. It would be like a relationship ender for me and my parents. It would be tragic, and I wouldn't, I would have to come to terms with that. I wouldn't walk around my daddy, like the Barry Morphew's daughter, getting our daddy out of jail. And it's like, let him know, go get evidence, help the state prosecute him. What are you doing?
Yeah. And when you killed your mom, that's your mom. You know what I mean? Do you really think she just ran off? I don't know. Yeah. But it's like the Chad's kids. They're not going to, right. They don't question it at all. Neither do Chad's kids. Exactly. And Stephen, you asked me a question. I have not been watching any of the court hearings just because I've been working. And I haven't been able to catch up on any of those that are going on. I love that stuff, though.
I really like Ricada Law. By the way, shouts out to him. If you guys want a good place to follow, just legal commentary, he's been covering those Ricada Law. It's Rekeita. Let me put a link. But yeah, and he was covering. That's how I watched it. Was through his.
That's kind of how it goes down. Sensible Crime. They do. They believe their parents until it's more than ridiculous, right?
So crazy. He's another lawyer, and what I like about Ricada, so he's like, the lawyers are really smart. They're like, if there's already somebody covering a story and they're a YouTube lawyer, what I like about them is they don't dogpile a story. You know what I mean? It's like, Scott is the only lawyer that I know of really that talks about the Daybell case. There's been maybe a couple commentary channels aside, like one channel talked about the Daybell case. There's been a couple commentaries from lawyers, but all the big YouTubers like Emily or Ricada, or they kind of like stay in their own lanes. They're not like, oh, let's all cover this. Like Ricada happens to be the only one covering the Rittenhouse in such a way. I don't even know if Scott streaming it. I haven't seen him streaming it this week, so he must be working doing another case somewhere.
Right. No, I don't know.
And I think he hasn't been in his office because he's been like recording on location, is what it appears, this week on his update videos. So interesting indeed.
I think so, Jenny. I think the kids need a lot of therapy. They may not even realize how much their parents' crimes have internally shattered them. Showing loyalty may be the only thing keeping them marching forward, which is really true. I mean, your family was destroyed completely. Oh, my kids would for sure call me out. I'm really glad they would. Good thing I did not get to Brian Laundrie first, or they would have turned me in. Lori was on the hunt with dog.
Okay, well, this just begs the question, and I've asked this before to you at least, Kathy. Like, you have kids. You even have adult kids. Like,
all of them are, yeah.
In what way, shape, and form are you gonna be able to bury two bodies in your backyard and any of your kids just not know? Like, I mean, I guess maybe you're in a different state, blah blah blah. There's some circumstantial stuff, but like these kids, like Garth, like lived at the house with Chat. Like he lived there. You know what I mean? Like on the spot. Like my parents didn't get away with anything. I was so nosy. Like every Christmas present, I knew where it was. I knew what it was.
No, my kids call me out on stuff all the time. Like they'll be like, even the stuff when I complain about my mom, they're like, well, Mom, you're not so blah blah blah, whatever.
Stuff that you don't even know that they know. You're like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, they call me on stuff all the time. Yeah. Totally.
I'm suspicious.
And you know what? Though, when my son Nick was a little juvenile delinquent, I did not stick up for him. I delivered him to juvenile hall. I was like,
you're like, I've got a problem child right here.
I was like so glad when he was in there. I was like, oh my God, I can sleep. Thank God. And then they're like, oh, we're releasing him like 2 days later.
You're like, no.
I gotta get him back already.
Can't you have him for another week?
He's 30 now. He's good. He's fine. He's engaged. He's the one with the chickens and the cats and the.
Your kids are all awesome.
He was a terrible teenager. Terrible. They tried to burn down a field. People next to the freeway. People were stopping on the freeway, running to try to put the fire out. They all ran, and then the whole town, the cops were chasing, found them all, brought them all down to the police station. There was like a bunch of different stupid things he did. Stupid things that could have been really dangerous,
I mean, that's part of growing up, like, being from Utah. Like, what is the most craziest thing? So when I moved to California, after I graduated high school in Provo, and I moved. I went to Timpview and graduated in 2004. Then I moved to Northern California, to Modesto, of all places, the armpit of California. Ugh. Anyway, so, but for me, it was wonderful because I had lived in this like completely just a bubble of a society where things are literally, or were at least when I was graduating high school, it was really like, hey, for all the guys in my class, it was to go on your mission, come home, get married relatively young. For the women, find yourself a high value return missionary and start pumping out them babies. So for me, when I got here, it was super culture shock. But that's not to say that back home, like I've actually been in fights, like unfortunately, like, growing up in Springville, like I had a kid sucker punch me in the second grade, which a fight ensued. In junior high school, I had told this girl that I was into that her ex was dating this other girl and he was lying to her, and like we got in a fight. Dumb reason to get in a fight. A fight ensued. The most like crazy or like, I mean, bad stuff does happen in Utah because there's like a really high drug problem. There's a really high teen suicide problem. People say it's the greatest place to raise a family, but I don't understand how that's actually true with the suicide rate like that personally. So it's interesting because there's kind of like a good old boy feel to Utah where it's like we got our guns, we like drinking our beer, but then there's also the side to Utah where it's like, oh, X the beer. We don't do that, especially on Sundays. So you get both sides of it. So as far as breaking the law, yeah, lots of guns, lots of delinquency, but not nearly as bad as like I would say in the metropolitan areas in California.
Stephen, Kathryn, was that your son that got lost during a festival? My one son got stage hit on his head. Is that what you're talking about? He came on here that one day. He was talking about stuff. So if that's what you're talking about, I don't remember losing anybody. But Sensible Crime was saying that if she got accused of murdering somebody, her kids would never believe it. Well, if I got accused of murdering somebody, my kids would never believe it either, because I wouldn't kill somebody. But there's got to be with childhood belief system and
I kind of got off on a tangent. I think I want to wrap up my point with the Modesto part being this. When I moved to Modesto after I grew up and was an adult, like 19 through 21, everybody had a DUI. It was a rite of passage. Meet a new friend, they got a DUI. Meet another new friend, hey, they've got 2 DUIs. Like, I am not joking. Like, so as far as like societal problem starting and how crazy kids are, it was culture shock. So that's wrap up my point.
To go from that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely culture shock. It's definitely 2 different animals. I'm sure that every state has its own nuances. I'm sure that Idaho is a lot different. I'm sure that Southern California growing up there is different than growing up in Northern California. Anyways,
thank you, Kristen.
My point. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail. Sorry.
Very much appreciate
my ADD brain.
Yeah. No, I totally, Thank you, Kristen. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, that's what you were talking about, Stephen. Yeah, when he got the stage fell on his head and he got a concussion, and thank God he didn't. Nobody told me until it was well over. I would have been like, ah.
Oh yeah, I remember you. Yep, I remember that story. And they were telling you, or they called you when he had it. Didn't they ask you when he had it, and they asked you what to do, or it was after the fact?
No, way after. I didn't even know when it happened.
Oh yeah, you found out way after, like when he was an adult, huh?
Dee or Melanie Gibb, okay, Sunshine in My Heart, at Dee or Melanie Gibb, who can't recall a lot of things, but perfectly remembers all the other important details. Yeah, she's a lot of like, I don't know, in her interview, she's like, I don't remember, so I don't know. There's a whole lot of people not remembering stuff, that they probably really actually remember.
I gotta agree with Dr. John, because when he's him and Lauren are reviewing these interviews, like I gotta hand it to him, because these interviewers aren't pressing these people. They should be like when she's like, ooh, gee, shucks, I don't know, they answered that question. It should be like, you clearly know the answer. That's why you had to sit there and think about it so long to like formulate like what your story is going to be if I force you to answer it. Like they're just like, oh, okay, I understand. Okay, next question is, and it's like, oh my gosh, like push back. Don't just like on more than just her interview.
Does Charles have grown-up children? Charles Vallow? Yeah.
Yeah, he has two
sons, Nick and I forgot what the other one's name is.
I should ask Kresha if she's in contact with them. I'm sure she's mentioned them, so I know she is.
Yeah, he does. He had him with his ex-wife. So Nicholas and I can't remember the other one's name.
This would be a great time to have Kresha in our chat. Where is Kresha?
Yeah, she pops in once in a while. I don't recall, right? Yes, exactly.
Oh, she and El Mom were streaming on Halloween, and they were wearing costumes. She was wearing like a raincoat. She was dressed up as like Chad Daybell or something. I can't remember, or I'm dumb or something. I'm drawing a blank on what I didn't watch the whole entire part, but they were, yeah, really cute. If you want to see Kresha's content, definitely. We talked about it last night, but she has her own channel, and you know what? I'm gonna drop a link, and I'm gonna provide.
Nick and Cole, right? Kresha, if you don't know who Kresha is, that is Kay Woodcock's daughter, so Charles Vallow's niece, and she does a channel dedicated to the case, and she also live streams with the El Mom.
Mm-hmm. And she was in our chat content.
2 weekends ago, I think she was in our chat here. Difficult Research is her channel. There you go. Yeah, yes. There you go.
And then the PayPal. So
she was dressed as Zulema.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Zulema for the rainstorms. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like thinking about 7 things at one time, and my ADD, and I can't always use that as an excuse in life. Anyways, so that is the link to the PayPal. $10, I think, is what I donated. I mean, but you can obviously donate more. For the justice. I'm not doing a great job showing this off. So, justice for JJ and Kylie. So justice for JJ and Kylie.
Perfect.
Yes, and I love the colors. I've already had somebody ask me, what is this for? And they didn't actually know about the case. So I was like, well, do you have like 3 or 4 hours? Because it's a pretty long story.
A year. Do you think Lori is pushing her lawyer to go after Melanie, knowing Lori is driven by hate and revenge? Once she has someone in her grip, they usually trip over themselves to appease her. Yeah, Lori's going to turn. I mean, I imagine that Lori's turned on Melanie and anyone else that was involved, because they're not behind bars and she is. So she is definitely going to,
Yeah, she's bus driving. Everybody's under the bus. Yeah, especially now. I think that they allowed her, like Elma made a really great point the other night. She's like, what I think happened, because I could see this happening, is they had Lori in the room doing like their session, their counseling session, and it was planned to be during the time that Chad's televised trial or whatever was happening, and that could have been part of the therapy, a part of what's on the agenda today. Well, we're going to sit and we're going to watch what's taking place here. I mean, think about it. If we're trying to make you competent so that you could participate with what he's doing right now, we could let you watch that. I'm sure it's probably the justification on why they would allow that to be part of her treatment plan. Perhaps, I don't know. But beside the point, they let her watch that. She sees what a competent attorney Chad has, John Pryor, which didn't he originally get Mark Means first?
Yeah.
For the issue with the kids being missing for the original charge?
Yeah, remember there were 3 lawyers when Lori came marching in, the woman, the other guy, and Mark Means. And the other 2 backed off. So that was
they're like, see ya.
Chad got them, lined them up. Here you go. Here's your team of lawyers, Lori. And then in the meantime, Chad's probably like, let me find one for me. Let me find a better one. I need a best one. I'm not giving her a good one.
Chad's Google searches are epic. Best Idaho attorney, non-LBS.
So they said that there's an interview with Summer that I haven't seen with the police. I'm really curious about that one. Do you guys know, is it really long?
Is it? We should watch it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know how long it is. Is it on?
I know that. Okay,
TV?
so here's my. I'm just gonna say this. You can stream personally. I don't care. I'll make content with you as long. I'm not on a time crunch. If I'm ever on a time crunch, I will let you know. As far as your community is concerned, because somebody said something earlier about Mormon Stories having a long form show. So long format isn't necessarily bad. I understand for some people it's hard because you want to like absorb everything, and sometimes, if sometimes you can get. Sometimes people talk about something in a 4-hour time span that could really be done in an hour. So I kind of understand like the mentality. I'm not completely poo-pooing it, but on the same token, yeah, like long form content is actually good because you can pause it and come back to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people want to be here the whole time and they can't. I think that's part of it too. Like, kind of remember where you dropped off if you couldn't be here the whole time, and then come back. Twisted Sister interview transcript. Is there a video of it, or is it just a transcript?
Let me look.
I'm looking at it right now, but I see this looks like it was just uploaded. And he calls it Twisted Sister.
Summer
Shiflet. Yeah. So is there audio of that? I like the audio better than reading it, but we can read it.
Oh yeah, we can read it. I don't see
video. Let me share my screen and look, and while you look, and we can start looking at this. So, interview with Summer on 10/1/2020 at 9:55 hours. She was interviewed at the Chandler Police Department by Detective Ray Hermosillo and Lieutenant Ron Ball. Summer was accompanied by her attorney, Garrett Smith. I merely motioned. I wonder if this is when they recorded the Rob Wood thing.
Yeah,
Summer was accompanied by Garrett Smith. I merely monitored this interview and had the detectives asking clarifying questions. At the beginning of the interview, Summer discussed her upbringing and family life. One point of interest is Summer relayed that Lori was a very private person. She indicated that she had been married several times and was never invited to any of her weddings. When talking about Charles Vallow, Summer stated she loved Charles. She described him as nice and generous. Summer stated that in January of 2019, Lori called her and told her that she and Charles got into a fight. And she stated Lori was mad because she found out that Charles had other girlfriends and had been with prostitutes. See, there's Lori manipulating again.
Just like Joe Ryan was a pedophile.
Right. Lori asked Summer not to answer calls from Charles. Summer did receive calls from Charles, and she stated that he was freaking out about Lori being gone. She indicated that Charles would often call her or her husband when he was unable to get a hold of Lori. Let's see. I guess I should let it play but it has music.
Just mute it. There you go.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Summer was aware that Lori took JJ, Tylee, and their dog to a hotel in Gilbert after leaving Charles in January. She was also aware, see, now this is right where we're at in our podcast too, that Adam's son, Zach, took Charles' truck from the airport for Lori while Charles was out of town. So she's saying Zach did it? Summer indicated that her relationship with her brother Adam was good before all this happened between Charles and Lori. She indicated that Adam was 100% helping Charles. Summer stated that from her vantage point, Charles seemed to be in the wrong as Charles was freaking out and Lori was calm. She added that Charles was telling her that Lori was crazy and she needed help. Summer indicated that Lori talked to her about her religious beliefs, but nothing that was crazy as Charles was reporting. During this interview, Summer stated that she now realized that everything Lori ever told her, she never got the other side of the story. However, everything that was shown to her, she doesn't say lies. She say this is what the content creator put on there. When asked to describe the relationship between Tylee and JJ, Summer indicated that they were close. As learned through prior interviews, Tylee took care of JJ often and loved him very much. Summer mentioned that Tylee had to have been killed first because she would have never let anything bad happen to JJ, which by the timeline, that makes sense. Summer also talked about the relationship between Alex and Charles. She indicated that Alex was very close to Charles. They even hung out on weekends. Summer recalled seeing Charles' final will and testament after he died. In this document, Charles stated that he wanted to be cremated and he did not want to have a service. Charles mentioned 4 friends in this document, and Alex was one of them. Summer indicated that this relationship between Alex and Charles obviously changed when Lori left Charles in January.
Wow, that adds a lot of depth. That actually, I mean, could be perhaps adding to the reasons why Alex unalived himself.
Right. Summer told investigators that Alex was excommunicated from the church twice because he could not live by the standards of the church. Alex had a difficult time with sexual behaviors. Summer even knew that because of his addiction, he went to South America a couple times to look for his future wife. However, a couple years before his death, Alex became devoted to the church again and wanted to be rebaptized. Summer mentioned the patriarchal blessing that was given to Alex, and she stated that Alex felt like he was out of darkness now. Summer then transitioned into the death of Charles Vallow. She indicated that in the end of June, she was at Lori's Chandler residence helping Lori put patio furniture together. During this time, Lori showed Summer text messages that were coming from Charles. These messages range from Charles wanting to talk about a bill to telling Lori that her end is coming and her days were numbered. Summer told Lori that these texts were not okay. Lori told Summer that he was just on a rant and it would be fine. In the following days and weeks, Summer became aware that her brother Adam was coming to Arizona. Adam reached out to Alex asking to stay at his house. Summer indicated that this was weird. Because he had never asked to stay with Alex before. Summer also felt it was weird that Adam and Charles were coming to town on the same day. She was scared to death that they were going to do something. Summer was scheduled to go to New York when Adam and Charles arrived. She asked Lori and Alex if she should cancel her trip, and they told her to go, fearing that something might happen to Lori. Summer called Alex and asked him to go stay at Lori's house. Alex apparently told Summer that Lori would be fine and that Lori would call him if she needed him. Summer eventually convinced Alex to spend the night with Lori. Summer stated that Adam came to town on Wednesday, July 10th. Weeks before this, Summer had arranged for Adam's son, blank, Zach probably, to stay at her house while she was in New York. Adam came over to her house with Zach, and she and Adam ate and played a card game together. Summer did not say a word about her concerns regarding Lori's safety. Summer asked Adam why he came to Arizona, and she stated that he was very awkward with his answer. Summer added that Adam was not himself and that this was very concerning. She never mentioned anything about Charles coming to town the same day. Summer felt that something was up, but she did not know what. He put that, go down. I remember that when on the news where she was like walking across the parking lot at the airport. And I think that's when they came back from Maui. Remember they went to Maui for that night and then they came back. There's the llama. You too.
Let's see. Somebody mentioned, Mama D said, because next to Rexburg, it is the most judgmental place I know of. Both have left the church. Being a member around here is a lifestyle you are born into. Many people don't get a chance to choose. True. Very well stated. It's very true.
So these are just all these pictures. Is there more article?
What's the Edgar thing? Emmy Lou says, because we were talking about Summer, can I bring up the Edgar thing again? What's that?
The what?
The Edgar thing. Edgar. Who's
Oh,
Edgar?
Edgar. Edgar is supposedly Summer's lover.
Oh.
Yeah, during the interview, Summer produced her cell phone and shared text messages between her and Alex. Lieutenant Ball read these text messages out loud on recording. On July 9th, 2019, Alex sent Summer a text asking if Adam could stay in her downstairs bedroom because he did not have a bed for him. Summer agreed that Adam or Zach could stay at her place. This arrangement was obviously being made as Alex was going to stay with Lori. On July 11th, 2019, Summer flew to New York before she left Phoenix. She sent Alex a text message stating, "On the plane, anything yet?" Alex did not respond. She got her butt out of there, didn't she? She would send, I wonder when she made that trip arrangements. She would send another text to Alex when she arrived in New York around 10:19 p.m. She asked Alex if anything had happened yet, as she was concerned that Adam and Charles were going to do something. This text was obviously after Charles had been killed. Alex responded by telling Summer to have fun and no worries. It was not until July 12th. Hold on, I'm not done. It was not until July 12th that Summer called Alex and she was informed that Charles was killed. Summer stated that she felt that Alex and Lori were trying to protect her, so she didn't worry while she was on her trip. So nice of them. After Summer returned from her trip, she was able to speak with Lori, Alex, and Tylee separately about what had occurred. She stated that all their stories were consistent. She was told that Charles came into the house to pick up JJ. Lori told Charles to take JJ to Burger King for breakfast before school. JJ was apparently having a hard time in the morning and did not want to go with Charles. Charles finally got JJ into the car, but left his phone inside the house on the counter. Charles came back inside to get his phone, and he saw that Lori had his phone. Lori was looking at the text messages between Charles and Adam. When Charles saw Lori was looking at through the phone, his face turned rage red. Lori stated that Charles came at her and she got scared and ran towards the room that Alex was sleeping in, yelling, "Don't touch me." Alex then woke up. Alex stated that Charles was screaming at Lori and looking right past him. Tylee then came out of a room with a baseball bat. Tylee reportedly told Charles to leave her mom alone. Charles then struggled with Tylee to take the bat away from her, which caused her to fall to the floor. Alex told Summer that he thought Charles was going to hit Tylee with the bat, so he stepped in and grabbed Charles from behind. Charles and Alex then began to grapple. During this time, Alex stated that Charles hit him in the head with the bat. Lori then told Tylee to go outside with JJ, and she did. Alex told Summer that Charles was tossing him around like a pancake. Alex and Charles separated, and Alex went to get his gun from the bedroom. Summer reported that Alex was a truck driver and always carried his gun on him. He thought that Charles would leave if he saw the gun. So he had the gun. Charles then came after Alex with a bat, so Alex shot him. Summer indicated that she doesn't know what is true. However, she does believe Tylee. She saw the trauma this caused her. Tylee told Summer that she heard a loud noise that sounded like a bat hitting the floor or a shot being fired. Tylee, however, was not inside to see anything. After hearing this shot, she heard her mom scream. She did not know if someone had been hit with the bat or had been shot. Lori told Summer that after the shooting, she took Tylee and JJ away from the house. She took the rental car that Charles had loaded JJ into and drove to Burger King to get JJ food. And she and Tylee then took JJ to school. Lori told her that they left the house without shoes, so they stopped to buy some flip-flops. They then returned to the house and spoke with police. Summer agreed that Lori's actions were weird. Alex told Summer that after he shot Charles, he called 911 and then gave Charles CPR until the paramedics arrived. Summer indicated that she thought Alex called right away and there was no delay, but we know there was a delay. Based on Summer's interview, I felt that she had no knowledge of what was going to take place on July 11th. Lori had shared selective information with Summer that would cause her to believe that Adam and Charles were coming to town to cause her harm. This in turn caused Lori to worry about her sister. It was apparent that Summer did not have any information about the relationship between Lori and Chad or their belief system in which Charles' body had been taken over by evil spirits. It seems as though Summer was an unwilling participant in the events leading to Charles Vallow's death. Interesting. So, the police don't think Summer had any knowledge of anything, huh? Oops. Let me get rid of that. So,
Interesting.
Well, that was kind of weird. Anything yet. That makes me kind of go, wait, what? Like, but then they're saying that she expected that Adam was going to do something with Charles. So I don't trust Summer.
I don't either. Ever since that first press interview with her and her mom, I just don't have a lot of belief in like her or Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski. I honestly, those two women, I can't trust. It's similar to Mel G. Like both of the Melanies and both Melanies. Zulema, the only reason I feel like we can trust her is because she's trying to save her own hide at this point. I'm curious if Melanie's going to catch a charge like this.
Melanie P?
No, Melanie Gibb. Yeah, because she's lied to law enforcement already. She keeps doing these interviews where she's so inconsistent, I feel like it's a matter of time before she catches the charge. Really is. And if she's not turning over evidence that's been subpoenaed, even if it was subpoenaed by the most incompetent attorney on the face of the planet, and even if it was the most poorly written legal document ever, like it's still, if she's withholding evidence or not turning over that evidence, then goes back to her not being honest with law enforcement, goes back to her not telling a consistent story. And my question is, where are her charges?
Great. I don't know. I mean, at first I was Melanie Gibb was saving everybody and she released the zombie email and stuff, but it's pretty clear she was way deeper in this than she let on early on, so. Although if she wouldn't have spoken, because all these other people never talked, what about, what's her face? We watched the interview, those other women, Nicole and Serena and all them, they were probably like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
So.
And I do get that vibe from some of these other, kind of orbiters. It's like as soon as it's like this document dump comes out and they're like, oh, they interviewed like 12 people. Oh, there's like 3 other women that were part of this little group with Lori and Melanie. And it's just so interesting just to see all this information being revealed. And it's really interesting that we're getting it from Arizona and not Idaho.
Yeah. And XX or 10 or 20 conspirators, both known and unknown. That's right. They said that. There are co-conspirators, both known and unknown. That's right. That was in those documents. Hopefully the mop-up crew will be charged, both Mel's, Zuzu, and the others after the main case has been dealt with.
And what's the deal with Melanie Pulowski's husband, Ian? Like, he was he was cooperative. And then what was it that made him change his mind? Did he fall under Chad Daybell's spell as well? Or what was it,
remember his documents and his letter, and then he flips, right? He's talking about how weird it all is and what I get myself into. And then he's like, I wore a wire for the FBI and then blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, but then I figured, nah, nothing bad was going on. Whatever. However, he flipped. Like, it was just really weird.
And we're going to have a baby and we're getting married and life.
I'm thinking he flipped because he found out she was pregnant. That's what I'm thinking. He flipped.
Well, I mean, still, you can, just because you stuck your, and crazy doesn't mean, that you're signed up for it. Like, he is signed up for it. The recent body cam footage, we see her in front of her house, walking her dog, and and then he comes out, and it's really just, even just the body language, it's all very telling, it's all very interesting. she's a deer in the headlights. She is not a very intelligent person. I am so curious if the FBI has interviewed her, because, you know, some of these people I just feel like would squeal. All you have to do is apply a little bit of pressure to them.
That was they were at her house to give her the subpoena to come for the grand jury hearing. That's what she was there for. And then she was like, I got to take my kids to school, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that was interesting because they were being subpoenaed.
Yes, Stephanie, to answer your question, I was talking about Melanie Pulowski and her new husband, Ian. Sorry, I was talking about both Melanies, so I understand how we could accidentally switch Melanies here. But to clarify, and if I misspoke, I'm sorry, because I sometimes misspeak. But yeah, to be clear, yeah.
Stephanie, Melanie Gibb and David are not divorced. That is a rumor. That is not true. They are still together. I have confirmed that with people that know Melanie Gibb directly, and they even went one step further and talked to Melanie Gibb and told her. And that's why in that one interview she had, she's like, oh, and then they say I'm not married anymore, that David and I are divorced. They're not. They're still together. They're not divorced. They're not separated. So she does go to Arizona a lot because her kids are there. So I think it's like every other week or every other weekend. She flies back to Phoenix to see her children. And so, yeah, they're not divorced.
Sunshine in my heart, replying to my comment that I made earlier. I have a hunch that Chad was chased out of Springville by the locals. They are very staunch LDS. They go by they don't do any extra LDS stuff or any, like, they're very, like, how should I say it? Like that's why for a lot of people who know a lot of LDS people, when they hear about the horrific details of this case, and then they find out that Chad and Lori were Mormon, that's why a lot of people are shocked, because most of the LDS people, you know, are really great people and they're nice. And so anyways, to reply to what she was saying, you know, the people I grew up around, you know, they were good people. They were salt of the earth people. And if somebody were basically making a mockery of their beliefs, they would chase them out of town. And from my understanding, Chad wasn't even a bishop, so he didn't even get to be in the bishopric. So and Chad, from what I've observed, is like a little self-grandizing. It's not the right word.
He's like, oh, that crown is for me. Thank you.
Right. No, and that crown in Springville, not in Springville, and not no. So that crown went to somebody else.
He decided to name Rexburg, like, we're all going to everybody. Oh, look what I found. This is the place everybody needs to come to.
Yep.
And also one more thing about the Melanie Gibb and David Warwick being divorced. That rumor was started by that other YouTube channel. And I got attacked for finding out that it was a lie by some other people. And it was YouTube background drama because I went to the source. So that was all a rumor started on YouTube by the channel that is kind of dark right now. And it was not true. So you're welcome. And then, it makes you a family person who couldn't do wrong, right? Let's see, there was one. Mama D, you can't tell me that Melanie and her man didn't talk the whole way to Lori's place in Rexburg and on the way back. Yes, both could have stopped at Gag. Yep, they could have. They own it. They're so deep into this crap, all of them that left their husband, had to find a new husband, and all because of this belief system. You can't tell me that they didn't think they were part of the 144,000 and they were special and they had to get rid of their other family members to be that special.
And when Melanie says, I asked, why didn't you just divorce Charles? I don't think she asked that. I think Melanie knows why Lori and Chad didn't divorce their spouses before murdering them.
Because they're evil spirits and zombies and stuff, and you gotta kill them.
Because I'm sorry, I forgot there's a cliffhanger. I'm sorry, my bad. I should elaborate. So, Chad, it was said that somewhere that Chad said something like to the effect of he probably did Tammy a favor, or somebody said that Chad probably did Tammy a favor because she couldn't deal with the fact of being divorced, like what that is
Yeah.
In their
It's
world
better to
and
be
what that
murdered
looks
by your
like.
husband. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Well, yeah. And so yeah, they don't believe in divorce either. So that's part of it too. To be truly to practice what he's really preaching, right? Then he obviously can't get divorced either, because then he wouldn't be practicing what he's preaching. So it's a little bit of both. It's interesting. It's a pig-headed, I'm the man and I'm gonna have more than one wife. And it's a little bit of both. And for Lori too, it's a little bit of, I can have two husbands because the women are going to now have the priesthood. Yeah,
right.
All that mumbo.
Why doesn't anyone talk about the money Chad used to hire the lawyers? It was obviously from Tammy's insurance. I would think the insurance company will want it back when Chad is convicted of fraud. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the charges, right? Insurance fraud.
Right back.
Yep. So yeah, I would imagine that's going to be something that comes along too, for sure. I hope by the end of the trial, someone in the cult was dumb enough to write down a full kill list. Oh yeah, right? That would be awesome. Because the church would frown on it and make it difficult to cancel and reseal, plus insurance money. Gotcha. So rumor has it the evidence is so much and damning that it's going to blow everyone's minds. That's what the whispers are saying. Yeah, I heard a rumor somewhere, somehow, that there's something huge. And I don't know. I can't, and that it will, and it's something that nobody would have guessed, is what I heard.
Friday, right? We're gonna find out on Friday from when the next hearing is, I guess. Is that what the idea is?
Oh, is that when the next hearing is already?
I think so. Lori Vallow said last night on Lauren's show about Friday, around about Friday. Everybody's gonna want to stay tuned because she has a feeling something's gonna come out. So yeah.
Yeah, and I heard this a while back and never said anything because it was by somebody else, like, and then I've heard it again through various people that something huge, just like you were just saying, that Idahoan rebel girl, just like you were saying, that something's going to blow everybody's minds. I keep hearing this. So,
and that's what I'm curious about.
Curious.
Like, as more of this evidence comes out, because it keeps coming out, and there's more evidence that kind of shows that Chad was a little bit more involved and he wasn't framed. Like, is Emma going to do another interview where she says, okay, now that there's even more evidence, is she going to come back out and about face and be like, I was wrong? I'm curious to know how much evidence is going to
She's going to be like, he was really framed. Really framed.
Really framed. Like, okay,
I don't not just a little bit framed. He was really framed.
I'm like, I don't want you anywhere around my kid, and I think you're a danger to society. So we should look into you being a teacher. That's what I think. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Emma Daybell.
Emma Lou. How could it get any more nutter butter? I mean, loin fryers. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get to that that love story, whatever, Harlequin romance on our podcast.
Oh, that'll be fun to read.
Yeah.
James and Elena's romance.
James the Just.
Oh goodness.
Tammy Probst didn't know what had hit her. He wanted to discuss the divorce. Chad saw it as an obstruction. Yeah, poor Tammy.
And there's probably evidence that we don't know about from her behalf too. Said work email account. That Charles emailed. Do they have that email?
Right.
That he sent? I'm so curious. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, XX. I'm not a parent, so I don't know about her own kids. I just don't know about society. I know that I know if I had a kid that was going to school and she was there, and after she has made some of the statements after that interview specifically, and after some of her behavior beforehand, really early on, yeah, I would be like very highly concerned. I'd be like, I don't want that lady anywhere near my kid. But I'm not a parent, so there's that thing, so it's like, do I really know? I have a dog. So.
Have you seen this? She saw the Devil episode on the love story. No, I have not. Did they read it or act it out or what?
I haven't seen that. Yeah,
The
do
love story is
tell.
pretty long. I read it that one night on our members only live stream, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh,
Ugh. He's not an incredibly talented writer, that Chad Daybell.
No, he's a terrible writer. All right, so I think it's 12:17. Probably about done here for the day. Robbie, I'll get with you at some point.
Yes.
Later,
Let me know,
tomorrow.
friend. Let me know. Tomorrow?
And we'll figure out how we want to record episode 5, part 2. We Saw the Devil, read it, yeah. Let's see.
She's not right in the noodle. I read that as hoodie first because I don't have my glasses on. But I thought that's actually, if you wrote hoodie, I was like, that's actually kind of funny because that would mean the hood.
That's awful. So many people have said that about Tammy, that she's just a really good person. And
I feel, I definitely feel bad, obviously, for Charles, JJ. I feel bad for all the victims and obviously their families, Kay, Larry, all the people that are impacted. And early on, even for Daybell kids, because it's like, obviously they're Tammy's kids too. But yeah.
We should have prayed for Brain.
So Tammy seemed like the type of person that would have been a great. Now that is the type of person I would want at an elementary school. Tammy is a great example of somebody I would want teaching my kids. See,
yeah,
we've got and that's what's so sad is that Emma is a product of Tammy. I just wish that the community there around her would just be like, wake up. You know what I mean?
Think about your mother, not your stupid father.
Yeah, think about your wonderful mother who was, by all accounts, just a ray of light in this dark, crappy world that we live in. And come on now, wake
that's
up.
What I was If I only had a brain, I'm going to the wizard because I need a brain.
That's Chad's song.
Yeah.
And a heart.
Yeah.
And a heart.
Alrighty. I guess I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat and get Kirsty's wine.
This has been fun. Thanks for having me again. I've really enjoyed coming on. Hopefully
Kirsty's like, get me out. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. And we'll get together soon. And everybody, thank you for all of my members and subscribers and everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy and be safe. Stay well. Bye.
Bye. Have a good one.